Webinars are winning again in 2026, yet most offers will never succeed with them. This video is not going to be some bullshit theory, it's not going to be what was working, but what's working right now. By the end of this video, you'll know how to run a webinar start to finish. Okay, but why do most webinars fail? The first is the wrong audience showed up. You can have the best presentation in the world, but if your ads attracted people who first of all can't afford your offer or aren't within your ICP, it literally doesn't matter. The offer isn't strong enough. If your offer is mediocre, a webinar funnel will expose this faster than any other funnel. The offer needs to first of all be validated, but actually get people real results. And the third is the presenter has no conviction. You can follow all the frameworks, you can follow the slides, you can follow everything out there, but if you don't have conviction in what you're selling, the audience will sense it. When to run a webinar and when not to. At the end of the day, webinars are just another conversion mechanism, but they do rip when you run them in these specific scenarios. The first is cold traffic. A webinar gives you around 90 minutes to indoctrinate someone into a new way of thinking, build belief in the vehicle, and shift their identity. Now, you simply cannot do that in a 5-minute VSL. The next is cleaning up the pipeline. Anyone who's on your email list, follows you, or booked a call but didn't show or close, a webinar sweeps them all in, and it's much less commitment than a sales call. And then the third is part of a multi-funnel strategy. Webinar funnels can run alongside a VSL funnel or a profile funnel. Running a webinar in conjunction with a VSL funnel is actually very, very successful, but it only really works if the webinar is running primarily through paid traffic. Now, when to not run a webinar? The first is when you have an underqualified sales team. Your CRMs and your automations aren't optimized and you don't have the budget to test with ads, or your offer has not been validated and you don't actually get people real results. Here's the webinar sequence. So pre-webinar, we have organic content and registration ads pushing everyone to a registration page, then a thank you page, then a VIP ticket order bump, and then they get prompted to join the WhatsApp group. The show-up systems are multi-channel reminders. So the WhatsApp group chat, email, and SMS, hammer them ads that provide value and handle objections, and email sequences that also provide value and handle objections. The live webinar framework is the Jason Fladlien structure. So it's hook, pain, excite, position, shift, transition, and then close. Then they do a group Q&A, and that's either direct to application or direct to cart, depending on the price point. Then post-webinar, we have a set a dial sequence, a custom replay page, an email sequence, and book a call ads. The strongest webinars always use a secret system framing, better known as a unique mechanism. Now, it's just a way to differentiate yourself from everyone else within your niche. Not how to make money with ecom, but the 5-pillar system we use to turn 5K into a 7-figure brand using TikTok Shop. Without it, you're competing on price and reputation alone. For your first webinar, a 7 to 10 day promotion sprint is perfect. This gives you enough time to test multiple different creatives, find the winner, and still push your organic audience to the webinar. For dialed-in webinars running either weekly or bi-weekly, a 3 to 5 day promotion sprint is perfect because the system is optimized and proven, but do not ever go longer than 14 days out. Just think about it. The further out someone registers, the lower their chances of attending actually are. For example, a registrant who shows up 3 days before has a 60 to 70% show-up rate, whereas a registrant who signs up 14 days before has a 15 to 25% show-up rate. You should be launching your registration ads with 30 unique creatives, 70% of them video, 30% static, and the sole purpose is just to drive registrants, absolutely nothing else. The Andromeda update on Meta means you need creative volume to find winners. Offers launching with 5 to 10 creatives are getting absolutely buried by offers launching with 30 plus. The algorithm needs variety to find what's working. The registration page. The headline should hit 3 things. The first is the specific outcome. Build a 10K per month ecom brand. Your unique mechanism. AI branded dropshipping, and the objection without gambling on ads. So the formula is how to outcome using mechanism without fear. The subheadline should qualify and force the viewer to self-identify. For 9-to-5ers who have watched hundreds of dropshipping videos, speaks to the exact pain point but still haven't launched a store, and then provides solution. The timer and countdown visually creates urgency. Authority metrics, credibility first of all with the business model and then student success. The training pillars are what they're actually going to learn from the webinar. 3 to 5 pillars max depending on the length of the webinar. For example, in this webinar, it's the brand blueprint, how to build a brand customers actually buy from, the free traffic engine, the winning product system, the scale sequence. For this one, we did 4, but I usually recommend around 3. Meet your host, their story, the host story, their credentials, and their student statistics. A free gift that they get for registering and joining the WhatsApp group. In this case, it was the 30 viral products list. Student wins and testimonials. Absolute max 10 case studies or testimonials on the page. Then we have 3 call to action buttons scattered across the page, and then an opt-in that captures their email and their phone number. On the thank you page, we have a thank you video, which congratulates them on registering for the webinar, which is the first step, plus the next steps they need to take. The thank you video should be no longer than 2 minutes long. Then, in order to claim their free gift, which is the 30 viral products list, they need to join the WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group is great, first of all, for reminders, nurturing, and building trust with people who have already registered for the webinar. Then, add to calendar. This means they're going to receive automatic reminders from Google, plus it's in their calendar, so we know they've shown some commitment, they're committed to showing up to the webinar, and it's prioritized. Then, the VIP ticket, or the order bump, should be between $27 and $47. It's not necessarily about the revenue that the order bump produces, though that does obviously help offset the ad costs, but it's more so about pixel optimization. High intent buyers equals the algorithm starts showing the ad to more high intent buyers, and a take rate of 1 to 2% here is pretty normal. But you're probably wondering, what do I actually include in the VIP ticket? So for this one, we have entered into a raffle for a one-to-one strategy call with the offer owner, a zero to launch branded store playbook or a PDF, a 1-hour product research masterclass with the head coach or the CSM, and then a 30-minute private insider Q&A with the offer owner after the live session. These are the ShowUp system benchmarks. So 30 to 35% baseline for your organic audience. With the full ShowUp systems, it's around 45 to 50%. Warm paid traffic, 25 to 30% baseline. With full ShowUp systems, it's around 35 to 40%. And cold paid traffic, it's around 15 to 20% baseline, with around 25 to 35% when you have the full ShowUp systems. This is the email and SMS nurture sequence. So these are daily emails. They are not reminders. They handle objections, they address limiting beliefs, and they share case studies and testimonials. Then the reminder sequence, purely reminders, SMS and email at 24 hours before the webinar, 5 hours before, 1 hour before, 30 minutes before, and going live. And if you want to, you can shoot through a 15-minute late email just to try and swoop up everyone who hasn't joined yet. Then the WhatsApp group. This is where the registrants are going to be the most engaged. The WhatsApp group is absolutely mandatory. Send the free gift, run polls to understand the awareness levels, which obviously informs your slide structure, voice notes and videos from the offer owner, and drop case studies and testimonials with value. Oh, and build a community before the webinar. Build a cult-like community. Then we have hammer them ads. 10 to 15 creatives running 2 to 3 days before the webinar, targeting only registrants, case studies and testimonials, objection handling material, trust building content, and material that increases the likability of the offer owner. Cold audience, by the time they get to the webinar, have consumed so much of your content that they now know, like, and trust you. The webinar presentation structure. So we follow the Jason Fladlien framework because it works best, which is hook, pain, excite, position, shift, transition, and then close. The hook is around 5 to 10 minutes long. The best webinars will always lead with either a bold claim or a story. For example, a bold claim is, today I'm going to show you the exact 5-pillar system we used to take a $5,000 e-com brand to $1.4 million per month in 14 months. And by the end of this webinar, you'll know if this system could work for you. A story example is 3 years ago today, I was working a 9 to 5, making $50,000 a year, watching everyone else online seemingly make millions. Today, I run a portfolio of brands doing $13 million plus. I'm going to show you exactly what changed. Then we have pain, which is also 5 to 10 minutes. This is where you amplify the pain of the viewer's current situation, where they are right now, what they've tried, why it didn't work, what they're sick of, etc. People buy to escape pain. Then, immediately after amplifying their pain, you then excite them, which is again 5 to 10 minutes. Show them what's possible, specific outcomes, real students, real numbers. Get them to imagine what their life looks like in 6 months, 12 months, 24 months after they apply what's being taught. Make the dream as tangible as possible. Then position, again, 5 to 10 minutes. Why you? Why this method? Why now? Your origin story, your credentials, your student results, why you're qualified to actually teach this business opportunity, why your method is different from everything else they may have tried. Then the mechanism, 45 minutes. This is the training section. The 3 to 5 pillars that make up your unique mechanism. 3 pillars for me is the sweet spot. Each pillar then gets around 15 minutes very comfortably. The goal of this section is not to teach them everything, because if you teach them everything, why would they pay for your offer? The training pillars tease the offer. It makes them realize how much help they actually need. The training pillars will also break their limiting beliefs. For the transition to the pitch, you have 2 options. Either the 2-choice transition by Jason Fladlien or the permission close by Russell Brunson. I have a lot more I can show you. Some of what I can do is paid. If it's okay with you, can I take a few minutes to introduce you to that and see if it makes sense for you to take the next step? Then the 2-choice transition is you have 2 options from here. Option 1, go and try to do this on your own, take everything I've shown you and go figure it out. Or option 2, let's do this together. I will work with you. I'll give you the full system and stack the deck in your favor. Either one will work fine, but whatever you do, do not go cold turkey into pitching. The close, 15 to 25 minutes, and the structure is as so. Reveal the offer, 3 to 5 main components. Stack the value of each component. The bonuses, 3 to 5 bonuses with webinar-only scarcity, and a risk reversal with some sort of guarantee to take the risk off them. The bonuses, 3 to 5 bonuses. Each one should be valuable enough to justify the price on its own. For example, done with you implementation calls, private community access, templates and SOPs, one-to-one strategy session, and bonus modules. The bonuses must have webinar only or at least limited time scarcity. Then the risk reversal. Money back guarantees work very well for done for you offers, or at least really solid offers that actually get real results. For cold traffic, I find performance offers usually work better. For example, if you implement everything we teach and you don't make back the cost of the program in 90 days, we work with you for free until you do. Then the Q&A, 30 minutes. You plant 1 to 2 questions to handle objections that you know are common. Then open it up. The Q&A is where the highest intent buyers commit. Do not rush the Q&A. Let everyone get their questions and you answer them, but make sure you actually know what you're talking about. The type form structure. Generally, offers above 2K should never be direct to cart. The type form should first of all be 5 to 7 questions max. It should subtly financially qualify without being deceptive. Include 1 to 2 questions that can disqualify. For example, I don't like asking people how much they have to invest, but I prefer to ask them 1 to 2 questions like, are you currently employed? For example, if someone's not employed and they say they're not employed, chances are they can't afford the offer, right? That's just a very simple way of deciding whether someone can afford the offer and whether someone can't. And, there might be cases where someone is unemployed and they can afford the offer, but I'd rather, disqualify those people and be wrong than ask every single person how much money do you have to invest. Also, I don't like bundling the mentorship cost with other expenses that may come along with the business model. So just be transparent. The routing logic works as so. So the setter calls to clarify all the DQs and can either push them to a low ticket offer or a downsell. Any sort of downsell, whether that's mid ticket, low ticket, just downsell them, try and get as much cash out of everyone as you can. Qualified low end. So the setter triages on a 15-minute call and books to the closer if appropriate. And then the qualified high end books directly to close his calendar. The setter dial sequence. This is the order of priority. People who booked but didn't show, people who applied but didn't book, and people who watched the entire pitch but didn't apply. The post-webinar follow-up. This is where 25% of webinar sales happen. On the replay page, as you can see here, we have an urgency element, either a countdown timer or scarcity messaging. For example, we have replay limited time only. Then the replay video itself. Sometimes it can be skippable for sophisticated audiences, for example, B2B, but sometimes you don't want to have unsophisticated audiences, have the ability to put an application before watching the entire webinar and potentially being disqualified. Application form like a type form being embedded on the page, and case studies and testimonials below the replay page. Then the email sequence, 7 days post-webinar. The day 1 is replay available. Here's what you missed. Day 2 is a case study from someone who joined. Day 3 could be an objection handler. What if I'm too inexperienced? Will this business model work for me? Has this business model, been saturated? Day 4, bonus reminder, scarcity, story-based email, your transformation. Day 6, last chance plus urgency. Day 7, final close plus the bonus is expiring. Different sequences for different segments. For example, if someone registered but they didn't show up to the webinar, push them to the replay page. Someone who attended but didn't stay to the pitch, pushed them to the replay and the bonuses. Someone who stayed till the pitch but didn't put an application or book a call, direct sales pushed to the application. Then we have book a call ads. This is about 10% of ad spend. Run after the webinar to people who attended but didn't book and CTA to book a call. Run for 7 days post webinar. Live webinars versus evergreen webinars. Live always wins. Evergreen webinars cannot compete with live webinars, especially in 2026. The data shows that on-demand webinars convert 2 times less than live webinars. Audiences can always tell the difference, except once a webinar is dialed in and has over 40 to 50 live runs, like my boy Sam Ovens over here, you can then sometimes automate it with the same schedule and cadence, but never on demand. The frequency or the cadence of the webinar. The cadence depends on the offer, the ad spend, and the offer owner's capacity to go live and do the actual webinar. Bi-weekly is the sweet spot for most offers. Monthly for offers with bigger audiences who want to make each event a major launch. And weekly for offers with lots of lead flow and an experienced presenter. The best days and times I found are Wednesday evenings and Sunday afternoons because they work quite well. Tuesday and Thursdays also work well, but avoid Mondays. Remember, people are catching up on their week on Monday, and Fridays people are beginning to check out. Budget and scaling. How do you know when you actually need to scale the webinar? Very simply, your first webinar test budget should be around $3,000 to $5,000. This is obviously very variable. If you want to spend 100K, you're welcome to, but I wouldn't recommend it. I think 3 to 5K is perfect. This is enough to test 30 creators and find the winners. Get 100 to 200 cold registrants, validate the cost per lead or cost per registration is strong, validate the show-up systems, and see whether the presentation actually converts. This way, if it all goes to shit, you've only lost 3 to 5K, and that's assuming you don't get one sale, which is very unlikely, but you get to see whether the presentation converts, and you're obviously able to iterate for the next one. So you should make a lot more money with the next webinar you run. When to scale? You're ready to scale spend when your cost per registration is reasonable. It varies way too much for me to give you a concrete number as much as I'd love to. Your show rate blended across cold traffic, warm cold traffic, and organic traffic is consistently above 25% with the full system. Your webinar to call, which is like book a call, or your webinar to application conversion rate is 3 to 7% of attendees. Like I said, I'd love to give a very concrete number here, but it does vary a lot. And your close rate on calls is between 15 to 30%, ideally to the higher side of about 25% plus, and your ROAS has to be at least 2x. Most offers don't run webinars because they're hard. They require a presenter who can hold the attention of an audience for 90 plus minutes. Obviously, this does depend on the slide structure. A solid offer that delivers real results, so a validated offer. Operational systems that don't break under volume, and a sales team that can handle 50 to 100 calls in a 3 to 4 day time span. And of course, also the patience to iterate through 5+ webinars before everything's dialed in, possibly running at a loss. Webinars are the highest leverage funnel in the info space in 2026. One webinar can do what 30 days of VSL traffic does. What's up, guys? I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And if you got some value from it, please check out the Instagram link in bio. Also, if you're a coach and you're stuck at 5 figures per month and you can't quite get to 6 figures per month, then shoot me a text on Instagram. We can chat about it and see if working together makes sense. Also, if you don't want to do that, you can alternatively go and check out my free diagnostic tool, link in bio. You answer a few questions and it gives you a scaling roadmap to get to 6 figures per month. But nonetheless, I appreciate all of you watching and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.